Tzu Chi volunteers look after victims of a deadly fire accident in Zhongli, Taoyuan. 26-year-old Chen Zhiqi looks at life on the bright side even after his accident that left him paralyzed 12 years ago. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in Taiwan. In Zhongli, Taoyuan, a recent fire took the lives of a mother and her 3 young children. The Guo family is survived by the husband and 2 older children. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, though initial reports point to a faulty electronic wiring. The family had actually just moved to the area and had been referred to Tzu Chi by the Social Welfare Bureau. Upon their initial visit, volunteers had given them emergency money to hold them over until their government subsidy could come through. Firefighters are cleaning up the scene of a fire which took place in Taoyuan's Zhongli at a 2-story residential building. Though the fire was doused in just 20 minutes, it was still not fast enough to save the 4 people in the building. After identification, Mr. Guo confirms the bodies are of his wife and 3 young children. To further understand the cause of the fire, a forensics team, along with the Taoyuan Fire Department, visits the scene once more. The initial findings point to a faulty electronic item.
Currently, we've ruled out man-made errors. Our initial investigation leads us to an electrical equipment failure. However, further detailed investigation is being conducted by our forensics team, as well as the fire department.
The captain says it seems the mother tried to push the bars on the windows to escape, but perhaps due to holding a baby and the rapid onset of the fire, she was unable to escape with her 3 children.
I really want to warn residents, if it is not absolutely necessary, there's no need to install bars on the windows. It's really a hindrance to escaping a fire.
The fire department also reminds residents if they must install bars on the windows, they must leave an emergency escape route to ensure their own safety. Prior to the tragedy, Tzu Chi volunteers had actually visited the family of 7 to bring them some initial aid supplies and care, as they had just moved to Taoyuan and were living without much around the house. Their small living room also served as a bedroom for the wife and some of the children. The volunteers remember back to their initial visit when the daughters sweetly spoke up about their needs. The father, who is in his 60s, has counted his blessings at the arrival of his then 2-month-old daughter. But the scene of happiness has been torn apart by a tragic fire. When the volunteers heard 4 members of the family had passed away, they quickly visited to chant sutras on their behalf. Losing his wife and children to the fire, Mr. Guo's suffering cannot be put into words. Besides helping him take care of funeral arrangements, Tzu Chi volunteers also plan to stay by their side for as long as needed. Helping the needy in Thailand in Ayutthaya province, heavy rains this monsoon season have led to some serious flooding in certain areas. Tzu Chi Thailand chapter heard people were in need and heeded the call, organizing a distribution of food items that helped 1,459 families.
Earlier this month, heavy rains flooded areas of Ayutthaya province in Thailand. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers held an aid distribution for residents. Although the rain has lightened up, water levels have yet to recede. Many people arrive by boat.
I represent all of the affected residents here, and we want to thank Tzu Chi for all your assistance. Your spirit of compassion and mercy is an example for everyone.
For the distribution, volunteers prepared rice, cooking oil, drinking water, soy sauce, and eggs, which ended up helping nearly 1,500 families in need of assistance.
While everything is flooded, life is very inconvenient. There is no one out selling food. These things you have provided us with are going to help us out so much. Thank you all.
We all thought that the distribution goods this time were a bit too heavy, but it turned out that everyone was happy and thankful to receive them because it was all things that people really needed.
Due to the high number of affected residents, Tzu Chi gets a little assistance from the government and military officials to make sure the distribution goes smoothly.
The workflow and organization of Tzu Chi is very well done. They are very orderly, and we were able to work together very efficiently. Things went very smoothly. It was great.
Although the people of Thailand are in a state of national mourning after the death of the Thai king, volunteers are there with a sincere heart, offering a shoulder to lean on to help these residents get their lives back to normal as soon as possible.
In DaAi, Taiwan, DaAi Headlines supports her family with a pomelo orchard, but since Typhoon Maggie damaged her fruit crops, she was worried about making ends meet. Just when she didn't know who to turn to for help, Tzu Chi volunteers came to the rescue.
On September 28th, the heavy rainstorm brought on by Typhoon Maggie blew off DaAi Headlines pomelos from the trees that she had put a lot of effort into growing. In the wake of the disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers brought care to her.
The price will be very low if the wholesalers buy the pomelos from her, so we will help her sell the pomelos because the price will be better.
Miss Dai, originally from Myanmar, married a Taiwanese man, but her husband passed away, leaving her to take care of their son and his family through the pomelo orchard.
With the help of Tzu Chi's sisters, we can at least earn some money from these pomelos. We haven't had this many people buying pomelos from us before. I'm thankful for their assistance.
15 volunteers worked together to bag the pomelos and sell them to some of the volunteers from Kaohsiung, allowing Miss Dai to feel warmth and love.
Also about making ends meet to support her family, in Taoyuan, 75-year-old Xiu Qing sells flowers and lottery tickets for a living as her husband suffers from a stroke and her second son suffers from cerebral palsy. As she is getting older, it is not easy for her to carry her son anymore. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers brought the family an electric bed and also helped the family clean up their home.
The grandma's house is stuffed with many things that there isn't much room left for a person to walk around. Her husband sits helplessly on the bed. As Tzu Chi volunteers are here helping to clean up the home, the grandma's husband tries to stand up and walk to another place. On the other hand, the grandma is taking her son out to sell the lottery tickets. Tzu Chi volunteers try to convince the grandma not to go out because it's raining hard.
The grandma sells lottery tickets in the evening and flowers in the morning. She works hard to take care of her family.
The grandma only sleeps 4 hours a day while selling flowers and looking after her family. Her neighbors feel for her condition, so the volunteers are taking over the job.
Her home has a lot of roaches. The grandma cherishes things, so she doesn't want to throw things out. We will need to come several times to help her clean her home.
Grandma Xiuqing's family used to be rich, but an accident made them poor. When the grandma goes out, she'll bring home unwanted comforters, cooking pots, and other things, but keeping them also makes her home messy and filthy. The volunteers will continue to care for them and hopefully change the grandma's attitude so her home can become clean again.
In our next report, we'll meet an inspiring young man, Chen Zhiqi, who is 26 years old. When he was only 14, he suffered a spinal injury in a car accident and was paralyzed. However, he has never let his condition keep him down. He has become an accomplished computer graphics artist and faces life with a positive attitude. And he has even been able to forgive the driver responsible for his condition.
The larger your heart, the more people you will help, and the stage of your life will continue to grow, and so will your quality of life.
Chen Zhiqi is skilled at digital art and uses the computer to express his feelings.
I've pulled myself up. When I see these words, I am really filled with emotion, and I hope I can encourage others when they are at a low point.
12 years ago, when Tzu Chi had just started his second year of middle school, he was involved in a car accident which injured his spine, which caused paralysis and forced him to live out his life in a wheelchair.
His head is the only part he can move like this, so if he has an itch or needs to go somewhere, I have acted as his hands and his feet.
Actually, I have already forgiven the driver of the car. Honestly, this was also a kind of fated connection. In a way, I can also thank him for letting me release my bad karma.
His parents provide continuous daily care and assist him in physical therapy. Him and his parents also strive to remain a part of their community, and he even went to hear a paralyzed man's lecture at the Taichung Jingsi Hall.
Though we are both paralyzed and not perfect, we can all find our own bit of happiness in life if we put our hearts into what we do.
God sends His wisdom.
Every Monday, Chen Zhiqi's teacher, Lin Kunlong, tutors him to help enrich his education and skill set for use beyond 12 years of public education.
I hope I can continue to support him so that he may continue to learn and hopefully he will not become a burden to his family.
Providing love and care from start to finish, friends and family will remain by his side.
There are so many people who are helping me. If I don't stand up, then I think I may be a burden to my teacher and a trouble to so many wonderful people, so I will always keep going.
He has also really taught us so much as he has grown. I think that after his parents came to Tzu Chi, that the compassion in their heart has grown incredibly strong.
Surrounded by love and support, Chen Zhiqi is growing into a positive young person with a love of life.
As the year-end blessing ceremony is only a couple of months away, over 100 Tzu Chi volunteers gathered at the Tzu Chi offices in Wanhua and Zhongshan districts in Taipei to assemble red envelopes filled with blessings and wisdom. The procedure is complicated, but the volunteers say it's a good chance to build their concentration.
How to place the Buddha's image correctly in the red envelope of blessing and wisdom so it can stand up needs some skills.
We can turn it back, then do a second step. Come back for the third step, then you press down a little and it's done.
Volunteers in northern Taiwan are mobilized to make the red envelopes. What takes the most effort is tying up the little golden thread.
Tying the thread seems easy, but it takes many steps. When you cut, you only need 0.1 to 0.2 centimeter of the thread left. If the knot comes apart, then you can apply a little white glue. When the glue becomes transparent, the knot won't come loose.
The procedure is complicated, but the volunteer said it's a good chance to train one's concentration.
I have nothing to do at home and I'm healthy, so it's a pity if I am idle at home. It's better I come to volunteer.
Volunteers in Wanhua Jingsi Hall in Taipei are also mobilized to make the red envelopes. Close to 900 people times were mobilized to finish over 20,000 envelopes in 5 days.
I'm happy to make the red envelopes so I can form good bonds with overseas Tzu Chi volunteers and bring calmness to my mind.
This is every year's blessing. I feel it's meaningful making it.
What's particular about making the red envelope is to make sure every inch of it is beautiful. Therefore, it takes the volunteers' carefulness, skillful hands, and also concentration at the moment.
8 years ago, when Guo Junwei was in the 6th grade, he was very sick and needed to go to the hospital nearly every day. Fortunately, a successful bone marrow stem cell transplant gave him a new life, and he is now a healthy 20-year-old man who works hard at part-time jobs. The bone marrow stem cell donor was a young mother, Zhongli An. Let's take a look at their connection.
After the transplant, he had blood in his stool. and would spend a lot of time sitting on the toilet. After about a month, he got better, and now he is quite healthy. He can even go out and walk. We have to thank this donor very much for saving Junwei and allowing him to have this healthy body.
他是谁？跳舞啊！我跟我朋友去。
At the beginning, I was just out with a friend walking around the old Zhongshan Stadium to see what was going on. I thought that bone marrow donation seemed pretty good. So I left my information as there's a good chance no match will be made as 6 different pairs of genes need to match up, making it just like as difficult as winning the lottery. At school, I was Tzu Chi Club president. I thought our school had a very high matching success rate. An older classmate was a match, and then before the president was a match, and then this classmate. So I thought that each president would be a match. So there would be a chance for me to be a successful match. Elders think that bone marrow is very important and precious, which is correct because it can save people. If it wasn't precious, it could not save people. After I made the donation, I went back to Kaohsiung and started to live my normal life. Later, I discussed it with my mother. I have to thank my husband who supported me and didn't oppose this action or wasn't critical as I couldn't immediately become pregnant but would have to wait 2 or 3 years. When my eldest child was 4 years old, I gave birth to my second child as they are almost separated by 6 years. If you give something to someone else, you lose something, but in fact, you may get more in return.
让我们来欢迎我们的曾怡安小姐，欢迎。
We really appreciate it. When we heard there was a match, we are all very grateful for you for giving us this chance. We are very, very grateful. Thank you.
谢谢他，就是捐赠给我。
I would like to thank this donor for giving me the chance to accompany my family. If she didn't make this donation to me, I wouldn't be able to be with my family during this life.
All-around multi-talented Taiwanese artist Wan Fang began her career as a singer. Besides being an established singer, she is also an actress and a radio DJ. In recent years, she has been involved in musical dramas. What you may not know is that Wan Fang has also been a vegetarian for the past 21 years. Let's take a look at what inspired her to become a vegetarian and how she has remained true to her inner convictions to this day.
Not only is she a renowned singer, she is also a great actress who has won 2 Golden Bell Awards. Not to mention her involvement in musical dramas and radio. All-around multi-talented Wan Fang seeks to live a life of purpose and meaning. She is a registered potential donor with Tzu Chi Stem Cell Center and also a registered organ and body donor. In 1995, Wan Fang decided to become a vegetarian, the main reason being her sound engineer.
他的妈妈突然之间中风，他当时就许了愿。
His mother had a stroke, so he made a wish and prayed for his mother's recovery. He also promised to adopt a vegetarian diet as a means to cultivate blessings for his mother. All the colleagues also decided to go meatless to support him. When his mother was released from the hospital, they all started eating meat again. But I thought to myself, if being a vegetarian means we can accumulate blessings for others and is something good, then there's no reason for me to stop.
Over the past 21 years, Wan Fang has remained true to her inner convictions. No matter where her job takes her, maintaining a vegetarian diet has never been difficult.
譬如说我们在饭店或是自己在家里也可以准备，就是。
Whether we are at the hotel or at home, we can always prepare some fruit. Look, we have a huge fruit basket with a wide selection here today. We can slice some apples and put them on toast. It's very, very delicious. Fruit and bread is a great combination. You should try this next time.
你们音乐可以推出来一点吗？外场。
It is believed that vegetarians share a common ideology and the same goals. Whether she is invited to perform at Tzu Chi events, she is always moved by the spirit of the event.
I usually speak more at Tzu Chi functions. When I am in a musical setting, I usually just sing.
Next time you listen to Wan Fang's songs, you might also get a peek into her life.
吃素也是在培养我们的一个慈悲的心。
In Malaysia, Selangor, Paramaswari and her family's friendship with Tzu Chi began when her children became recipients of the Happy Campus Program scholarship. After a firm friendship was formed, the volunteers invited the family to sign up to eat 108 vegetarian meals as a part of the previous vegetarian campaign. The family soon realized the true benefits of a vegetarian diet and decided not to only continue the diet, but also to become volunteers to help the disadvantaged.
Delicious aroma drifts from the kitchen into the living room as dinner is being prepared. This family hasn't eaten a meat dish in 3 months. Under the invitation of Tzu Chi volunteers, Paramaswari and her 3 children began with committing themselves to 108 meat-free meals during the recent vegetarian campaign, but received quite a surprise after participation.
In the past, my monthly expense, including purchasing chicken and fish, cost me up to 50 Malaysian ringgits a week. Now my weekly grocery money is only 25 ringgits. The rest of the money I save for the children's tuition.
Seeing her now, she has transformed. She readily greets us with a smile, and she told me that she doesn't suffer from dizziness or headaches as frequently as before. Her blood pressure numbers have also decreased. It's very obvious she's much more relaxed now.
3 years ago, Paramaswari's husband passed away from a heart attack, leaving her to care for their 3 children on her own. It was when her children qualified for the Happy Campus program ran by Tzu Chi that volunteers also took the family under their wings. Through this care and friendship, Paramaswari has been moved.
I want to be like the Tzu Chi volunteers. After I've received help, when I am able to, I want to help others as well. When my children are grown and have a stable job, I will guide them to be volunteers with Tzu Chi so that they can help the less fortunate. Our family will also continue to be vegetarians.
After experiencing the benefits of vegetarianism, which includes keeping her healthy, Paramaswari has vowed to keep up this diet for the rest of her life.
In Texas of the United States, the Austin Tzu Chi Club welcomes 40 new members this year. Together, these new recruits learn the ins and outs of being a collegiate youth volunteer at an introductory meeting in hopes of bringing good to this world. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.